I'm live again. And yeah, let me make sure live chat is posted or set up. I appear to be. So I had some family members come by who came from China. So I do in fact have family members who live in China. It is what it is. Hopefully the CCP doesn't hold it against them. I don't suspect they would. But yeah. So I got a bit of progress done earlier today. Hi, Brian. It's not 1:30 at night. It's barely 9 o'clock here. Yeah, I've already seen trim off tonight, so clearly Sweden is stronger than Norway. More power to you. No, I was actually delayed by an hour or so. I expected my company to be leaving before this. Unfortunately, they didn't. So it is what it is. And I mean, it's family that I see once every few years, so it's kind of important to me. So I'm going to spend an hour or so streaming now, clue up a few final things. Unfortunately, the door had to come back inside. As you can see, there's a very ghetto for sale sign on it. And yeah, I didn't have any luck getting rid of it. I'm probably going to stand it up against those doors over there in just a moment, because I don't expect, and I have only just recently finished eating, so I do apologize if I'm burping. And Stormy is in. Hi, baby. Hello, love. Let's see. Prime says he posted about the Order of St. Lazarus and Sultans art wall. Templars with leprosy, the undead knights. Oh yeah, I remember reading about those guys. And kind of an unrelated, or at least tangential note, if you have the opportunity to read it, the Gnostic Gospel of Judas is actually worth having a read at as well. It kind of posits the idea, at least in the foreword, and it's explaining the Gnostic way of looking at things from back then, at least as it's understood in the modern era. The idea being that the Gnostics believed that they didn't believe in Jesus as a physical being, but more as an allegory for the way people should behave towards God. And part of the story revolves around how Judas was actually carrying out Jesus's will when he went to, I think it was the Pharisees or whoever it was that ended up arresting and imprisoning Jesus. My company is just gone, yes. And Prime says the example of a Christian. I'm not quite sure how you mean, but yeah, the story in the Gospel of Judas is basically, look, Jesus told them to go do that, which kind of makes sense. Oh yeah, because if Jesus was both human and divine, then he was aware of what was coming, and he would have then perforce been aware of how to create what needed to happen, or how to cause it to happen. And Judas is often described as having been his best friend, or his most loyal follower, or various other things. And if we put stock in that, then who else would you trust to essentially sentence you to death, if not your best friend? Right, or your most loyal follower? Kind of makes sense. You kind of need to read the foreword, the pre-explanation, and then read the actual gospel itself, which is missing significant chunks, but is still a worthy read, I thought. What are we looking at here? Prime says he wants to read about him before his Messiah arc. You know, I really want to know what he was doing prior to beginning what they call the beginning of his ministry. Uh, I've read a couple of books that posited that he was in Tibet. Uh, I could see it because it is a very Tibetan Buddhist kind of philosophy that he produces. Uh, but who knows? The one of the books I read was I think it was called Jesus in Tibet. Or maybe Christ the Law. I can't remember for sure which it was called. But it was basically discussing a historical account of how uh, a Tibetan monk had produced a written account that supposedly said that Jesus had appeared in Tibet, had journeyed to Tibet. Don't know how much truth there is to that. The purging of the temple is needed now. I think it might be, and this is me being an atheist suggesting this, but it may be better to take the approach of Thomas, or the Gospel of Thomas. Now, I have to point out at this point, as far as I understand, the Gospel of Thomas is a real gospel, but was somewhat the basis for the movie Stigmata. And I'm basing some of what I'm about to say on what I understood from that movie. But as I understand it, the Gospel of Thomas basically says you don't need a church or a priesthood to be Christian or to worship. Wherever you go in the world is you're in God's house, no matter what building or non-building you're in. And when I was a pagan, that was how I felt. I could go out into the woods and I was in church. This is essentially how I would put it. But there were times that, uh, and this is one of the reasons I call myself an unconvinced atheist. I'm not 100% certain that there is no God. I don't subscribe to that side of the atheist ideology where one will reach a solid conclusion. But there were times I could be standing in the middle of an urban center and, for lack of a better term, or for lack of better terminology, feel like I had touched the divine. Just that moment of a sense of something special happening around me. Anyway, I was saying, just to give you guys a bit of an update, I got the more or less finished. I have some aerosols that I have to organize on the shelves where some of the tools were. I still have a couple more tools that had to come off that shelf and go elsewhere. I'm thinking I will probably, as I said, take this door and just put it up out of the way so that this table that I'm sitting beside, right here, actually not that one, well, that one, so that that will go over into that space that the door is mostly occupying at this point. Because that table is my woodworker's table, and I need to be able to move that around a bit. I also intend to move the table saw and the miter saw that are both behind me there, and they're going to come out more this way. I have a pile of wood that has to be dealt with. I really need more storage. But the pile of wood that's behind the camera right now is probably going to go down into this table here and get stored. I need to clear out that table as well. Let's see. Where you pray or seek strength is your church. God lives in your heart and gains strength from your faith. Yeah. I guess that is Thomas's view, or the Gospel of Thomas's view. One of the, and this isn't meant to cast any aspersions on anyone's faith, but I think one of the big problems that Christianity faces is that the Bible, as it stands, was, as I understand it, compiled by Constantine in order to suppress, I guess we'd call it, interdenominational violence in Constantinople, or possibly Byzantium at the time. Hi, Callum. Just talking about Christianity at the moment, actually. And what I'm planning to do tonight. Probably won't stream too long. I might go 2 hours. I might only do an hour and a half. It's hard to say. But yeah, we're just talking about how you don't necessarily need a church to pray. That sort of idea. And I was talking about the Gospel of Judas and the Gospel of Thomas. Both of which I believe are Gnostic Gospels. I know the Gospel of Judas was. And yeah, the next thing I have to do is get my gloves on and move that door again. Yeah, that's going to have to go up there because I don't have space for it anywhere else where I need to work. So, off we go. And for now, the camera's going to stay where it is. I'm just going to lift it up so you guys have a longer view. Ow. Oh, the joints are getting stiff tonight. So there's the live view. For now, I'm just going to leave this here because I may need to work through the space that stand is standing in. Callum says he just finished some painting on some minis. Awesome. You played today as well, if I remember. How'd that go for you? Callum says he's always found the idea of God needing a church as human hubris, priests needing money and ego stroked. Yeah, it's kind of a harsh joke, but I've always wondered why the Catholics think that God speaks to a septuagenarian, if not octogenarian, who probably can't hear well in real world. Or in real time, I suppose. That being a pope, of course. And Prime says he's going for some Z's because he's going to the market tomorrow. Shadilay. Shadilay, my friend. And yeah, as I said, do feel free to post some pictures in Sultans. I'm sure many of us would like to see them. I certainly would. And of course, I met a chat from Callum. He played today, won his second game of the new edition. Lost only 5 Marines and 3 rounds of combat. Cool. How big were the armies? Like, how big of a force are we talking about? Like, what percentage of loss did you suffer? Okay, you're being difficult. How difficult are you being? Not that difficult. Okay. Good. There we are. Okay, that's leaning on a piece of board that I can't have that lean on. Okay, that's also not getting into the frame properly. Okay. There we are. Okay, now that I'm sure that's actually safe and secure, I can start moving other things. So this board will come out of there. That will sit there. Now that I've seen it, I might as well empty the shop vac. Let's see here. Come on. Don't be a miserable bugger. Okay. Well, there's next to nothing in there in terms of actual volume. So that's good. I keep forgetting about the camera angle, I swear. Okay, that needs to be brushed out. And that informs me that I need to find somewhere new to hang my dirty brush. Of course, one of the big reasons this is so dirty, well, you guys actually can't see inside that, so let me just come over here and change the angle a little bit. One of the reasons you guys can't see how dirty that is inside, or one of the reasons it is so dirty inside, rather, is because it's a wet dry, and at least once I've run it wet without the filter, or rather run it dry without the filter, which I actually did today as well, because I have completely forgotten where the filter is. I do believe it's in the house somewhere. Basically, the stuff I'm taking off is essentially a mud composed mostly of dust and sawdust. And while it won't necessarily hurt the vacuum, it's not exactly doing it any favors either. Just clean out that brush now. Which, if I'm going to do, I should do outside by rights. And I need a hook for that. That will do for now, because I'm using it so much. Okay. And I mostly did the whole thing with the bag just now, just to get the dust off the rim of the garbage can. Because with my luck, I'll end up knocking that over at some point tonight. Properly? Oh, it's not. Okay. Let's try not to destroy the cord by smashing it into the middle of the shop vac. That's better. Much better. Now I have to have a quick look at my cord to make sure I didn't fray it anywhere. Okay, that looks good. Hang on. Get on there. There we go. That is as neat as it is. And that's going to be all the way over in this corner for the time being. So that I can get back into that area. And actually, I think my best bet is to move my chair back over here. Move my table to this side. And let's see here. It is still extremely muggy here. What's the temperature? Still 16 degrees, and it's probably still 99% humidity. Oof. And ironically, I'm not blowing the chrome out by getting too close. Excuse me. Let's see here. Callum. Oh, no, Prime Knight's going for some Z's. Yeah, you did say that. Callum says 18 minis total for me. 10 recon marines, 3 snipers, 3 heavy weapon carriers with jump packs. 1 light transport, 1 transport. Took on 34 demons, shot them to pieces. Awesome. Stormy says, yeah, right, you like showing off your butt. Only to you, love. you're for some reason you like it, so I'm okay with that. Fifth sake, got a moth in my room, big one, proper bat food. Feed it to a bat and take pictures. Fair. Suburb is too bright as well for the little guys. Too bad, I love bats. I don't have an issue with bats. Oh, LT means lieutenant, sorry. Or lieutenant, I guess, since you're in the aisles. Let me see here. Kellen says he's held a bat only once in his life. Cute little thing. It was a decade ago. Slightly better time, I imagine. I think slightly better time for all of us. So yeah, I'm going to be moving this table, that one right here, that one there, over there, that area right there, shortly. But before I do that, I am going to tighten down my camera so it doesn't flop around so much, and get a bit of a longer shot here. Now I've moved that chair, I can move this over here and continue to play woodshed Tetris all night. Yeah, so let me see. Change my angle just a little bit. I think dropping that down a bit might be useful, but anyway, I have to clear off this. So that will sit there. Oh yeah, that's why I had the wet wipes out. So this table has got a lot of stains on it over the months I've been using it and not cleaning it, so I figure I'll give it a wipe down tonight. I'm not aiming for 100% sterility or anything, just to get it clean enough that I don't feel uncomfortable putting my bare hands on it. And there's a reason for that. Yeah, so that was filthy. But that's not surprising given how much I smoke in here. Midger is in. Hello, Midger. Lieutenant Lou. Lieutenant Lef. Let's see. New problem. Mia's on my lap, and now she's purring. I can't move. I mean, you guys know I'm not a cat person. So I have no issue with dislodging vibrating fur balls. But hey, what you gonna do? Okay. Okay, I am going to complete the tool wall. As I don't actually have a dovetailing saw at the moment, I'm actually going to put 2 hammers in that blank space. And I will change the camera angle again so that you guys can actually see what I'm doing over there. Actually, I could probably put the camera significantly closer if I did something smart, like say unplug it and move it over here. And yeah, I do apologize for the currently wonky camera angle. That's because the tablet is on a microphone stand that I have fully extended and is a little bit iffy. Okay. What have we got going on here? Stormy says she has Zeus in her lap and Bella on her pillow. And Stormy is telling blatant lies and falsehoods. Now, as it is going to get somewhat dusty in here, I think I am in fact going to light a candle, which means I need something to put it on. And as I have nothing else available, I'm going to use this knife block that I acquired at Stormy's. And I'm just going to lay that down on its side and up on the corner of the table. Actually, I think that will go more or less in the middle of the table, with my ashtray on one side, my snuffer beside it, and smokes in front. I can put my camera, or my phone rather, face down on the table, just in case of splashing wax. My coffee can move. I will, in fact, need my torch. You guys aren't getting to see any of what I'm doing, so that's kind of mean. So I will point that there. And those of you who remember the holder I made a while back, which I still have, by the way, and actually intend to do a little more work with, because having looked at it for a while, I kind of think I understand why no one was really interested in purchasing it, because it is somewhat ugly, even though I was kind of in love with the design of it at the time. Now, what I'm doing here is simply lighting the wick and change hands, dropping a bit of wax on this surface, and then I'm just going to put the candle in the wax to anchor it. Let that get good and burning. Of course, option 2, which just occurred to me, is I'm holding a torch. And I can just do this. Okay, and that doesn't want to stay there anyway. So, go back to the original plan, which was just to drip some wax on it. And it won't take a lot, maybe 3 or 4 good-sized drops. Just enough to cover the area of the base of the candle. Okay, so that's not actually anchored, but I'm not waiting any longer. And also, I kind of want another cigarette. So, and I'd like to finish my coffee fairly timely period before it gets too cold. So, You guys are going to get extended down. Let's move you back away from the candle. And hopefully that will not fall over. And let's see how we're doing here. Oh, my knees. Okay. So, let's see. Little girl loves cats. He'll learn the way soon. I will never learn. I do not, in fact, cuddle with cats. That is an absolute horrible lie, and I will never, ever admit to such a thing because I don't do it. That's it. Yeah, yeah. No. To be fair, Stormy is right. I do like cats. But I don't like cats in the way that I like dogs. When it comes to dogs, I like them in general. Cats, it requires particular cats. I don't particularly care for all cats. I'm sorry, I just realized what I was doing. And managed to sprinkle tobacco into my coffee. Lovely. And yes, as a matter of fact, I do have multiple implements I could use to sweep that out. Just trying to decide which is the cleanest to choose from. Yes. I do believe that would be the best choice. My camp knife. Considering this is something I actually do occasionally use to prepare food. And yes, the irony of me flicking it on the floor is not lost. Considering what I just went through to clean this floor. Come on, there we go. That's the last one. So we'll try that again now with the coffee up out of the danger zone. That's quite the full extension, by the way. Let's give this another shot. Excuse me again. And I do apologize. I'm probably the gassiest guy on YouTube. Let's see. He loves cats. He'll learn the way soon. He cuddles with Ollie. My girlfriend wants one for my Christmas centerpiece. A candle? I can do that. Callum says he just wants a dry winter. It's either wet or soggy here. Only had snow 4 times a month. Wow. We don't get tons of snow like we used to when I was a kid. But what's this now? Stormy says she wants lots of snow. You go right to hell. I got a shovel. Let's see. This is Measure says dry snow is better in most ways. You just can't make snowballs with it. Yeah, when I lived in Alberta, I got quite the kick out of watching people clear their sidewalks with a leaf blower in the middle of winter. Even Callum says he doesn't want too much. Stuff is a pain to shift when it gets too deep. Had to dig my car and family's out 6 years ago. Yeah. Snow blower for Christmas. No. I'd rather shovel, to be honest. Here, in this part of Newfoundland, and this is more for everybody else than Stormy, she's very aware of it. We don't get enough big dumps to really... Yeah, snowblowers are awesome, but we don't really get enough big dumps to really make it worth our time unless we're both working full-time jobs, and that doesn't look particularly likely at this point. It's much easier for me simply to get a... Not a Bobcat says he has a big dump for us. Please don't post pictures of that in Sultans. Also hi. Yeah. But yeah, the necessity of a snowblower is pretty low here. The only thing a snowblower really does for you is save you time. And yes, physical effort. So I mean, if you were someone who was infirm in some severe way, then yeah, I would suggest getting a snowblower. But for me, I'm perfectly happy with a very large scoop, because, as should be obvious from my physique, I don't work out. I prefer to do physical labor to actually accomplish things. And which is also part of the reason why there's an axe there and various other human-powered implements on the tool wall. Speaking of the tool wall, that's going to be the next thing I have to do. I have a couple of hammers I'm going to put up in that empty space under that saw right there. And let's see, when I shovel, my back always hurts to give out. Where I ripped it years back, then it's over for me. Yeah, it's one of those things where when you injure it, it doesn't always come back to the way it was. I'm fortunate that I don't have a terribly bad back. I do have slightly weak muscles in my back, though I think with Stormy's help, since she's gotten me slightly more active, and of course doing things like this where I have to lift heavy things, my back is getting stronger. But one thing I can definitely say is, if I was going to be doing any real amount of work, even just shoveling snow, and when I say shoveling snow, I'm talking about just pushing a scoop, even doing that is hard on your back. I see something about Stormy having a bad back. The chat faded before I could read it all. I'll get to it. But one of the things you really need to remember to do is stretch, and stretch well. Don't stretch hard, but stretch thoroughly. It's kind of like doing yoga. You go until you get comfortable, and don't strain to get there. Stormy said she has a bad back because of me. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a good boy. Or are you attempting to say that you have to carry me? Let's see. Bobcat has jokes. Major says good answer. Stormy says I knew you would. You knew I'd say I'm a good boy. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, this is rapidly degenerating into something closer to just a chilling out stream. Stories of Jesus, no. She wouldn't try to carry me. She's, oh God, what? Less than a fifth my size total. Yeah. You could take 3 Stormies and put together and still not get something the size of me. Oh my. And, oh, excuse me. It is getting close to my usual bedtime, so I may be dragging tail before too much longer. Ardent is actually 6'10". Gods, I wish. If I was 6'10" and 300 pounds, I wouldn't feel nearly as bad about myself. Stormy says she's a good girl, but I'm very bad. Let me point out, both Stormy and I were Catholic educated. And I wasn't actually raised Catholic, so. Yes, the cute little button that we tap to set you off. Callum said something about goat tasting nice. I've had goat. It is different. The texture is interesting. And geez, I haven't had goat in 20 years, give or take, I guess. It's not really something that gets distributed much here in Newfoundland. Though I personally wouldn't mind having a goat. Oh, and there I found the way to blow out the chroma. Just show you my forearm. Major wants to know if goat tastes like tin cans. Contrary to popular opinion, the goats don't actually eat the tin cans. They're actually chewing the glue that's on the can. Or they used to. I don't know if they still do with the artificial glues. And yes, glue actually did used to be made from animals. In fact, the chair that's up here, that I have to finish conditioning. Sorry, what was that? Arab Iceland? That's Arab Iceland. Okay. Just go with the joke. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'll try not to step on your jokes. Oh, okay. I was actually attempting to see if I'd made a decent snuffer out of this for candles. And it appears I have. Excellent. That's candle smoke. Okay. I know I missed at least one thing there. Hooths? Horse hooths. Oh, horse hooves were used for glue. As I recall, what was mostly used was I think it was a lot of fats, if I recall correctly. And Medger is trying to figure out the meaning of hooths. It may have been teeth and hooves, yeah. And yeah, autocorrect does some interesting things sometimes. Now I'm wondering if there's an actual word hooth. Autocorrect does some funny things. Oh, and I guess it actually did anchor it fairly well. After all. But yeah, autocorrect and speech to text both do some very funny things sometimes. Oh, I put far too much milk in this. And now it's getting cold. Ugh. And what did I miss there? Medger has fat fingers. Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I'm not using these things. Okay. So let's get this table folded up and out of the way for a bit. And then I'm going to get those hammers put up. And, oh, I still have other tools that have to come off that wall. Or that shelf, rather. Those will go... Yeah, I think I will rearrange what I have on the side of that cabinet. Possibly the side of that one as well. So, Mr. Table is now out of the way. Ow. And I'm going to move the camera again. And the chair. Now, I will be 100% honest. I don't have all of the stuff I plan to do done tonight. Tomorrow being Friday and a final day off before Sultans. I will be focusing on ideally getting the entire layout of the shed completed and getting everything put where I want it. And then, if there's time permitting, I intend to get the two devices here put together, the planer and the bandsaw. if that works, then I will be a very, very happy individual. Now, let that drain. And really wish I had a different 3-in-1 oil container, because I really have no use for 3-in-1 oil in this configuration. And I can't just pluck that out either, can I? No. Okay, so what's the deal with that? Oh, okay. But if I pull that out, will that cap go back on? Maybe. Let's find out. Oh dear. We seem to have a problem, Houston. As in, that cap will not go back on. So, we will dispense with the cap altogether and create a handy-dandy plastic seal instead, using that goes there in that oily tray. And since this stuff is actually very dirty, I'm going to use, I should have a piece of plastic I can use. I can use a piece of the actual garbage bag that I'm using right now. Scissors will be here. Okay, and scissors are going to get hung up differently when I'm done. So that's one of the leaves of the bag. And all I'm doing is double over, assuming that that will cover this hole, and pinch it down. And hope that that will screw properly into place. It does, but I don't think that's sealed properly, so yes, it appears to have. Excellent. Okay, and of course the very important acid test. Another drop. Beautiful. So there we go. At least now I have 3-in-1 oils on there. That. Just 1 second. I can hear some people talking outside. Oh. I believe there's going to be some noise from a four-wheeler shortly. Okay, you guys should be able to hear me again now. Sorry about that. Let's see, somebody's going to bed. Stormy is off to bed. Good night, love. I guess I missed an opportunity to call you, but I can do that afterwards. Well, I'll do the usual thing that we do, and I will absolutely talk to you in the morning. Do you have a particular time you want me to call you? If you do, let me know. And other than that, Tristan says it's weird to see a stream in a wood shop that doesn't involve chiseling dovetails or building a boat. Dovetails I can do. Building a boat I don't have the room for. Callum says, sleep, boy, would I love to drop off. He's going to be rude and disappear here. Have a good day, guys, and see you all on Saturday. Take it easy, Callum. Stormy says 7:30. I will endeavor to remember that, love. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much longer anyway. To be honest, I'm getting kind of tired. It's been a bit of a full day. I do want to get the last 3 tasks done. And that's to get those hammers hung up and to get the aerosols moved and get that table repositioned properly. So all of that is going to be done starting now. I will apologize now. I will probably not be in chat too much, or chatting too much for the next few minutes, as I'm putting tools on the wall. That's what I'll do with those. So that one from there. Oh. Now that's handy. That one actually has a hole drilled in it, pre-drilled. Which means if I can find a hook that will fit it, I should be able to hang it up. Although I think what I will probably do instead, yeah, since that's not going to fit very well, is bend that back the way it was. Back in there. Okay, that's more or less the way I found it. And what I'm going to do instead is take a loop of line and put through there. For that, I will need my scratch-all point and a piece of this cord, which I believe is waxed linen, but I'm not 100% sure. I also need something to cut that with, which is where a knife comes in handy. You know, you guys can't even see what I'm doing. I do apologize. There we go. So, this is the waxy cord I'm talking about. And all I should have to do is, hopefully this will work with a loop. Because if it does, then I can just force this through here. Come on, get in there. Okay. And I'll use the back of the point of this, draw it through. Try that again, draw it through. I can see the end of it coming out now, so this time I should be able to hook it out. There we go. So there's my loop, and done. So I will be hanging my hammer up like this. And this particular line is very stiff, so once it actually draws into a knot, it's very, very difficult to unknot it. Now you'll notice the way that I left this, so that I could actually open this loop up in the future if I choose to. And actually, I intend to do it this way, so that the knot is, ideally the knot will be inside the handle, but that's not going to happen. So, there we go. I will be hanging that up. Okay. Because I don't use hammers much, I can actually hang them up there out of the way. So, or even up there out of the way. And to do that, actually, rather than doing it that way, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to take these 2 hooks off of here, which you can't see, but I had put knives on them. Have those knives out of the way. And I really need to put a sheen board back on my door for putting my knives in. My trusty folding saw. Well, not so trusty because, well, it's cheap Chinese junk, but oh, lovely. The plastic is so soft it cuts itself. Let's just smooth you back out, shall we? That's better. And yeah, this thing, I have one issue with this, in that it will, in fact, lock open, but will not lock closed. That can be handy in a serious emergency, I suppose, but I would far prefer that I could lock it closed. And also I'd prefer that the blade didn't intersect the lanyard hole. But we don't always get a choice in the tools we can acquire. So, also over here are some back saw blades. These are blades that belong to this small saw. And since that small saw could actually be moved over, I'm going to put them down there again and unhook this particular set of hooks that I have up here, and I'll put a couple of screws in here for those two hammers to hang off of. In case you're wondering, and I can't imagine why you would be, but I have two hacksaw blades, and this is a diamond blade, just in case I need to cut something really hard. And the blade that's currently on that little yellow frame saw is a buck blade for cutting tree limbs, living tree limbs. Forget. Get in there. Okay. So Stormy says she's on her way to bed, and she's listening to me as she goes to sleep. So I will take votes from the chat. Should I sing her to sleep or just keep on talking? Give me a 1 for sing and a 2 for keep on talking. Bear in mind that if you haven't heard me sing before, you're not in for a treat. And that hook can come out of here. I've got a bunch of 2s. I'll take 2s. And I see Crow is in. Hello, Crow. Give me just a moment. I'll come over to chat and say hello. Let me see what we've got here. Just a few things. Horse hooves. Sausages are awesome. Sausages are in fact awesome. Sleep. Callum was leaving. Crow. I would be here to watch, but I'm in bed trying to sleep for work. Hope you have a good day. There's a lot of people dying. Or, sleeping. Wellerman. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. Yeah, it's a good song. I'm from Newfoundland. We know a lot of sea shanties. I think that's quite how he meant it, Bobcat, but damn, that'd be a great job to have, wouldn't it? Let me see. Okay, let's put some screws up. Put 1 there, 2 there, that'll work. And I'm going to use shorter screws than usual. I need my drill bit. Yep, that fits. Oh, that's very oily still. I need paper towel. So I have a small tray of screws here that, as I said before, I pulled out of some furniture last year and left them in WD-40 soak for quite a while. More to get the corrosion off them than anything else. It's not really rust so much as it is just gunk from the wood. Let's see. Medger says it'll be an early night for him too. He had a tooth pulled and he feels like laying down and sleeping it off until it's healed a bit better. You know, pain is a great excuse to go to sleep early. And I just remembered I have a mute microphone button for when I fart like a shotgun blast. Excuse me. That was kind of dumb. I need that again. I need 2 more screws. Are these going to be deep enough for that hammer? No. Definitely not. Okay, so I can use ones that are already dry, so I didn't need to pull the paper towel out of the garbage. Okay. Okay, and that hammer will hang up. I'm going to drop that screw in a bit deeper. This is insanely awkward. Fortunately, I'm used to doing things awkwardly. Come on, turn, you bastard. There we are. Okay. And I don't know. Oh, yeah, you guys should be able to see the head of the hammer there. There we go. That will do for that one. But for the actual wooden hammer, I'm actually going to sink that. Could I put that there? I could, but I don't want to. Which is basically the refrain of my entire streaming career. I could, but I don't want to. Yeah, that'll definitely come up here. Beside my planes. If I can get the screw to get in properly. Oh, there we go. A little slower this time. There we are. That's too deep. Right there should be. No, it's not acceptable. Let's see where I want that to hang. Oh. Okay. Cheap Chinese hammer that actually says genuine hickory. I'm not 100% convinced. Okay. Perfect. And I do believe I mentioned earlier today about the Radley tools that I use, having this power meter. One of the things I'm really impressed by is the actual battery life of these things. I've had them, I think, going on 2 years for some of them, and charged them maybe a dozen times, but they always seem to hold their charge very long. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so I haven't missed anything in chat. Next trick. Hammers are up, so I'm still saving space for a dovetailing saw. Oh, I'm not nearly done with the screws yet. I need to put those tools back in there. So those can all come down and go over there so I know where they have to go. Okay. Those sit there. this stuff will come down here. Okay. I'm going to see about putting these pellet stringers up against the piece of aspenite I moved earlier. Sorry, OSB. Aspenite appears to have been a brand name, and it's actually OSB, so Oriented Strand Board. And now I should have room for all of my various and sundry aerosols. And I can pull down some of the tools that are tucked away up there. Most of what I just pulled down is stuff for surfacing or roughing. This is, if you don't know, a file card. It's literally for carding files. In the same way that you would card wool, this would be used to pull wood dust or sawdust chips out of a file. Currently it appears to be home to a fly. Or possibly a piece of lint. And that's a steel brush. One of my two, because I found steel brushes extremely indispensable at times. This is technically a plaster trowel, putty knife. But I use it for stripping. I've used it for cutting. All kinds of different uses around the shop. So, and of course another small steel brush, but I do have another more or less the same as the wooden one I just showed you, which we'll go and reacquire now. And so this is what those brushes look like brand new. They come with a scraper at the back end. I think they might have been intended as grill brushes. It actually might say on it under the price tag sticker. I'll have a look in just a second. Playing cards for when I want to spray paint something. And need just a small back stop. This is not in fact coffee. This is in fact very fine sawdust that I got out of my sander. Yes, that would have come out of the sander or possibly the miter saw, possibly both. This stuff is actually really good. It's very fibrous, so it's actually very good for filler. If you need to fill a hole in a piece, all you do is mix it with wood glue, and it will make a very, very good bond. The problem, of course, is that it has to be the right color. Presently, the only thing I have is a very blonde wood, which when I work mostly with spruce and things like that, it's really not that big a deal. If I were filling a large crack in something like a piece of walnut, I'd be screwed because I have nothing to fill it with. And of course, tiny nail puller, which unfortunately does not seem to work on the nails in the pallets. Though I have an idea I do want to try now that I put my hammers on here. And I do apologize to anybody trying to sleep while they're listening. This is going to be a little loud. Okay, that's a failure. I simply can't get enough of a grip with the teeth on that to pull out the nails from those pallets. So I'm stuck waiting for my other set of end nippers after the debacle that was the channel locks. Now, I can put that there, I think. Or I could put it up here. That'll work better. Let's put it up there. And again, we're resorting to the paper towels or the oily screws because I'm using short ones, because that's a fairly small tool. That's also what she said. Did I miss anything? No. Okay, I have a suspicion that the 4 people watching are either new people who've never said anything, or people who are simply letting me linger while they fall asleep. Either way, I'm okay with that. You guys go ahead and get some sleep. I will be, probably done in about 20 minutes to a half an hour. Yes, Measure, you guys are in fact pretty quiet tonight, which is fine. I have no issue with that. The end of a day is the end of a day, after all. So, and I mean, some of you guys were here first thing this morning when I started, which was something like 13 hours ago now, I think. 15 hours, possibly. So I can hardly fault you for being tired at this point. That's not the way you're supposed to go in. There we go. And there we are. That should go out there neatly now. And this is apparently Crescent 10. Is that the brand? Warning, wear safety goggles, user and bystanders. It's like these people know how I work. There. And that's actually got its own little safety built in, because if I try to slide it out in the wrong direction, it just won't come. Perfect. Better to Kamala Harris. Okay, next step. I need to get that hook back up for those blades. Or do I want to put a different hook out? No, I think I'll use the same hook. So that will go there. And I will say one thing for the oriented strand board. It is very easy to start a manual screw-in hook in it, generally. That's not bad. Okay, and the blades. And just a tip for you guys as well, and I'll actually do this in reverse order so that you can see it. When you're putting multiple blades together, it's not really required or necessary, probably, but one of the things I do is, you'll notice the teeth are on this side for this one. When I lay this one behind it, the teeth are on this side, and then when I put this one up, I'll alternate it again and put the teeth on that side. It's more just to keep the teeth from banging off of each other. I don't know that it's really necessary, but I feel far more comfortable doing it that way. And there we go. So yeah, my tool wall is beginning to extend pretty much the entirety of the wall. The good thing about this is going to be the backdrop for a lot of the videos I do up here. I mentioned that earlier as well, but I think it bears repeating. Could I move those clamps? I don't think so. I don't think it would be safe to put them anywhere else. Though I would like to have them on a hanger or a spike. If I'd had... oh well. I do have to move that hammer back, though. I don't like that it's protruding over the edge that far. Okay, that's out now. And we'll put it back in there. Oh, easy. Okay. That's extremely awkward left-handed. So I actually screwed the angle up badly there. Fortunately, unfortunately, it's a cabinet that I'm not particularly in love with, so. Mostly because it's not my work. And also because it's, well, bad work. Or at least it doesn't meet my personal standards. Let's put it that way. That's better. Okay. Let's see. The scratch all can go into the hole I just emptied and get pushed in a little ways. But that will sit there neatly. Of course, I'll immediately forget where it is the next time I go looking for it. I may end up taking these lamps down right now, actually, and putting them just over there somewhere. But perhaps not, because those 4, 5, where is that other brush? Ah, that's right, I was going to take the sticker off of this. Just working my fingernail under the edge of the price tag sticker. Okay. The only thing I uncovered was the barcode. So, it says it's made in China in 1, 2, 3 languages. So that would be English, French, and Spanish. Though I don't know how to pronounce Heisho in China. Let me see. And made for, I believe that says Orgill Incorporated in, is it Collierville, Tennessee? Let me see if I can get that visual here. Yeah. Orgill, I think. Orgill, possibly. And that being brand new, and so brand new that it's not even got the wear in the hole yet. And I will point out, this is one of the things I thoroughly dislike about Chinese-made products. While the quality may be more or less identical to their previous American counterpart, and this appears to be made of ash. Yeah, ash. While the quality may be more or less akin to the American counterpart, the American originator, when you start manufacturing things in China, your quality control is going down. Let's see. Tristan says he's playing Total War. Is that Total War Rome or something else? Medger says he's a little shagged out, hard to type, make thoughts at the same time. Fair. Bobcat is there. Just felt like that last joke was too easy. Fair. Multitasking with the family, so I'm in and out. Awesome. Medger says Chinese-made products are somewhat substandard. I was just mentioning that myself. There's a reason that when the unnamed virus of unnamed origin came around, many of us were saying things like, don't worry about it. Look at where it was made. It's not going to be deadly. We weren't wrong. Let's see here. Warhammer 3, Elspeth von Draken modded campaign. Cool. I know very little of what any of that means. How many of those things can I hang in that space? I don't want to take that space away from the future dovetail saw. However, and it's a bit of a big however, I do have use for that space right now. Excuse me. And I can hear Aiden shrieking at me now. Stop yawning, it's a social contagion. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I think, no, those will stay up there. Though I could put hooks back here and have those dangling, but then if I reach in, yeah, no, that's a safety violation. So this is coming down, and this will go somewhere else, as will these bits. This, for now, because I use it so rarely these days, is going to sit there for the moment. And this screw, okay, that's in there pretty good. That's going to come out of there. Ah, okay. I've been looking for somewhere new to put this picture. And that is stuck in there real good. I think I actually padded that in with something. What can I draw it out with? Well, I could draw it out with the actual drawing tool. There we are. Okay, that picture is going to come down, and that needs to go somewhere else. So that will go here, I think. Yes. And this is actually a picture one of Stormy's kids drew, so I actually do want to keep it where I can see it and where it can be seen. So I do want her to know that I do value it. Oh, come on. There we are. So, of course, the challenge with that is to hammer it in without breaking the thumbtack. Or the push pin, rather, to be accurate. Okay, that's done. Let me see. Why do I have a feeling someone is paying attention to me again? Nope. Okay, so the aerosols can go up there now. This table gets moved. The chair returns to its original, well, not original, but to its previous position. I need the broom if I can reach it. I cannot. But that's what a dirty brush is for. Pinch. And if you guys had had the right angle for that, you definitely would have been yelling about OnlyFans. Or perhaps Only Carpenters. Or Woody fans or something. I don't know what would you call a porno fetish website based around woodworking? That didn't have something to do with marital aids. Yeah, okay. That's good. The aerosols need to move. So we will take the WD-40 out of there. And since you guys are probably going to be wondering what I'm doing, you can see what I'm doing here. Is there something in there? Okay. Now, I have to get screws out of up there first. Holy crap, I able to blow the chrome out that time. The edges woke Stormy right up. Now let me make sure those aren't structural screws. They're not. Good. Okay. Those are actually refills for my torch. I keep forgetting that that's what they're for, because ironically my torch hardly seems to run out anymore. Actually, I have a better plan. I could put all of that in the one spot rather than having a pile of them separated. All my paints can go in one place anyway. They'll all go into one spot. I might even be able to put the other aerosols down with them. Now I have room for more, which is even better. I'm going to take my clean brush down and switch it for my dirty brush. Sit there with the clean brush. It's actually going to go in the cabinet out of reach, or out of dirt range anyway. I can take the Catholic disciplinary bottle down and put over there. Good thing about that is I actually do have a use for it right now as well. I should have a rag left in here. Oh, okay. I need to clean my hands. There's a lot of oil on them, so it's just water that I'm using, and an old, I think it's an old sweater or pair of gym pants, sweatpants. But the material in it, where it's kind of fleecy, is actually really good for scrubbing dirt off your fingers. Plus, I'm itching for some reason, so I probably touched something that I shouldn't have barehanded. Let me see. Oh, yeah, okay, some of the chemicals over there. And that's actually laundry, so I now need a laundry bag. Laundry shelf it is. There we go. So it's perfectly good laundry shelf right there. Anybody said anything in the last little while? Here we are. A little carpenter crack never hurt anyone. I'm not sure what just happened. Now I'm adjusting my pants again. Let me see what I got to do here now. Clear that table out, which means getting all the tools off of it. And am I done? I'm probably probably not done with the screwdriver yet, so that will remain out. My actual water bottle for drinking from and my actual disciplinarian bottle can both go over here. Okay, that almost got lost. And yet another non-sponsor. I'm perfectly happy to throw a shout out to. Montelier is, if I recall correctly, bottled in Canada. Source located in Saint-Brigitte-de-Laval, Quebec. And it kicks the shit out of Perrier, as far as I'm concerned, for sparkling water. So, of course, I'm tearing the label out of it because, well, who knows? They may be lucky enough to come after me over my content and not want to be associated with me. So, they're no longer associated with me in any role. I swear. Oh, that doesn't want to fit there. It will fit up there. No, it won't. Well, you can sit right back where you were before, in the background. Okay. Now, the tool wall is as done as it's going to get tonight. The rag container. I wonder if I shouldn't move it over there. I don't think I will. Excuse me. Burping again. And again. Yeah, I need a lot more storage space than I thought I did. Okay, those few tools can go over there, I think. So let's get that closed up. I'll bring this. Oh, okay. I have to actually move that this time because I'm actually going over there. So I'll put that there and I'll be moving the camera again. And this will probably be the last time the camera moves tonight because I am getting somewhat fatigued myself. And let's see, how's your angle there? Not bad, but you're a bit close. It's not bad, but I think instead I will bring it over. Whoa, let's not bash it off the pile of clamps there, Ardent. And we'll plug it in there and check the angle. The angle looks pretty good once I get that cabinet door closed. What's in there? That's adhesives and abrasives. Oh, and that does not need to be in there. That belongs over here. The other extremely flammable chemicals. There we are. Of course, I've now mentioned the word flammable. I want a cigarette. The clamps are in the way. Badly. Okay. What do I do with that? Those clamps need to move. And really I should have them up out of range of my head. So, I think they're going to end up, it's actually a good idea, I could hang them off the line. Or, yes, okay, that's what we'll do. That's tape, that should be in that cupboard anyway. Do you actually spark? Oh, yes you do. So that's a sparker for a welding torch. I don't know exactly why I have this. I think someone gave it to me. Possibly purchased at a yard sale. Yeah, there's not a lot of... Oh, there's actually two other flints in it. One that is extremely worn down. Interesting. Can I rotate those, or do they have to be... Oh, that has to be unscrewed. Yeah, so I have next to no experience with welding at all. I've never done any myself. I have worked in a welding shop as grinder boy. But, yeah. I think I actually remember where I got this now. Stormy was nice enough to give me this, which is not as empty as I thought it was, but it's for... There we are. Torch. Okay. That's not nearly as empty as I thought it was. I thought it was empty. So those two go together, and they're going to go in that wall. Actually, no. That's an extremely bad idea, considering they're both flammable items. And there's a pile of flammable chemicals over there. Won't go in there either, unfortunately. So, this gets its own place to sit. Probably. Yes, okay, that's the safest possible place for it, is in there. And I found some recyclables, which I will put over here for the moment. And this tape belongs in here. There we go. Okay. I just realized I used to have another table out here. Thank God I don't, because I really don't have the room for it anymore. Those clamps still have to get moved. And I did have an idea for them. But it doesn't involve those bungees. It instead involves these straps. And I will show you guys what I'm doing. So, because I have two large C-clamps, do just fall off, that would be appreciated. There we go. As I was saying, because I do have two large C-clamps, which are these guys, those can be hooked up here. And this is going to be a for now solution. And I have two intermediate size ones. I believe this is a 3-inch, and I believe that's a 5-inch. This is going to be just a temporary fix for the time being, just to store them out of the way. Actually quite hefty. I'm not sure about letting all that weight dangle on that. I think it's okay for now. But I also have 4 very small ones. Which were put in a piece of wood up until very recently. I think, given that I have an empty wall over there, empty shelves rather, I think these clamps will end up over there. Let's see what the angles. Oh dear God! Talk about your Dutch tilts. Oh, I found where all the little spiders were coming from. There we go. They're gone. I'm blowing out the chrome every time I walk past again. Anyway. Oof. Perfect. On the floor, right where I meant to put it. Not too sure about that. There we are. Nothing will go down there. Now, if I put that one up there, is that going to interfere with that? It doesn't look like it. So, okay. Now I can get that door back out of there if I need to. And didn't need those straps after all. So they'll go back to hanging up where they were. Okay. And for my next amazing trick, I'm actually finally going to move that table. At least I think I am. I swear. I think I will. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Gloves I will need. I'm assuming that's the clamps. Could you light a cigarette with it? Oh, I absolutely could, but I'm not going to. It's far too hot for me to trust it that close to my mouth. I'm going to be doing carpentry streams, making cabinets, whatever your business is. I will be doing streams. That's really what I'm setting up for. I have 2 new machines that I absolutely need to set up. One of the first few projects I'm doing are going to be very small level crafts. I have a chair that I'm restoring for my mother that needs to be finished. It's been promised since last year, and between medical issues, depression, winter, and general, I don't want to call it laziness, but it might as well be, I haven't got that done yet. And it's a few hours from completion. It's just, there's some tedious detail work to do, and I didn't, well, to be fair, I didn't have the tools until over the course of the winter to do it well. So, yeah, there's that. You'll also see me build some stands for some machines. I have, as I said, a planer and a bandsaw, both of which will allow me to make a lot of different material crafts, projects that I haven't been able to do. One of the things I'm going to be doing at some point, a block of walnut plus a cheap shotgun equals artisanal shotgun. Also true. However, I don't have an FAC at the moment, so I can't legally purchase. I don't believe I can legally purchase a shotgun. I'd have to look into that. That may not be something that's covered under the FAC rules here in Canada. I'm not 100% sure. Um, the various things that I'd like to do involving firearms, I simply can't do. I can't go out and buy a secondhand, say, M1 or whatever that's kind of got some beaten up furniture on it. Uh, Kristen says you cannot. Shotguns are unrestricted. Non-restricted firearms, which means they are considered firearms, which means they need an FAC. However, Tristan, you might know this better than I do then. I do believe you're Canadian, if I recall correctly. Uh, Non-restricted PAL is easy to get, though. Yes, hopefully. I believe I had an FAC years ago and had done the course in college just as a lark because I believe it was being offered free to students. And I don't know if that was something that I was supposed to keep renewed or not at this point. Yeah, they're called PALs now. Yeah, we're talking about close to 30 years ago. And yeah, possession and acquisition licenses. Yeah, it used to be a firearms acquisition certificate. But over the course of time, of course, I let it lapse stupidly. And now that means that I'm not able, right at this moment, to simply go and purchase a firearm. With the way Trudeau is being, with the way YouTube is being, both of those things are reasons that I would probably avoid dealing with firearms very much. I might make a model gun, a toy gun out of wood, but stuff like that, the high level stock and things like that, I would dearly love to be able to go out and buy a beat up old shotgun, for example, and replace the stock with something new and something better. Hickory, ash, walnut. Personally, I would love to be able to find an old stainless steel gun in good shape, something with a stainless steel barrel, preferably entirely stainless steel, and make furniture for it out of something like Purple Heart or Rainbow Eucalyptus or Cocobolo. All of which are very, well, Purple Heart, in the case of Purple Heart, it's pretty obvious what color it is. It's very purple. In the case of Cocobolo, it's that rainbowy wood that you'll see on cheap knives, things like that. But I saw a target rifle years ago in BC. I think, if I recall correctly, it was in 223. So it may have been a hunting piece as well. But it was stainless steel and it had Cocobolo furniture. It was absolutely beautiful. And rainbow eucalyptus is one of those woods that's ridiculously expensive to import to Canada, but it is absolutely beautiful. And Tristan says he has Cocobolo grips for his SIG 226. Okay, are you Canadian? Because on this stream, you probably shouldn't admit to having a handgun. Well, no, I guess you're allowed to have it. You're just not allowed to dispose of it in any way other than destruction at this point, is it? Fucking Trudeau. Oh, there goes that chroma again. Sorry. I'll wait for Tristan's response to come in. Let's see. Tristan says he's keeping his guns. I don't blame you. And you absolutely should, because Trudeau's not going to be in forever, for one thing. And for another, the next person who comes in, and it would ideally be Max Bernier. They're most likely, if we're allowed to have an honest election anymore in this country. Yes, Billy, I in fact do know and love wood. Let's see. Bobcat, fancy. Sounds like if you were able to buy them, you could get new ones, make some fancy wood parts, and mark it up 300%. I'd like to get some antique stuff and restore it too, right? Major says he's starting to cool on Poiliev. I'm sorry, the moment that man trotted Andrew Scheer out on campaign trail with him, I was like, oh, fuck you, buddy. And even before that, I was already a PPC supporter. I was originally a founding member of the party, and I really wish I'd kept that membership. But there were a few things that happened around that first election that they ran in that kind of pissed me off. One of which that they completely ignored Newfoundland. And this last election, they actually discovered that, oh, hey, if we don't ignore the Newfies, they vote for us. Yeah. But I understand the natural inclination of Quebecer, and no offense to Maxime, of course, but I do understand the natural inclination a Quebecer would have to disregard the Newfoundlanders. After all, we kicked the French the fuck out of this province a couple of times. Okay, they need more members for sure. They don't just need members, they need loud members. They need people who are as loud and, I hesitate to say obnoxious as Max Bernier, but as steadfast or stalwart might even be the better term. I mean, I've had the opportunity to ask Max a few questions during live streams and things like that. And his responses, they're not measured. They're not anything but off the cuff and sincere as far as I can tell. And, I mean, I think he's the real deal as far as close to a federal libertarian as we're going to get. I did, in fact, say PPC, the People's Party of Canada. Worth looking into, Billy, even if only on Twitter. Maxime Bernier, MaximeBernier. As he's been referred to as the Albertan from Quebec, things of that nature. You know, he's got a lot of respect. He's almost on the same meme level. In Canadian terms, he is on the same meme level as Trump. Okay, that thing here. You guys can not really see what I'm doing, so. Yeah, no, let's vote for the Canadian Communist Party. Whose stream are you on again? I think you probably just woke Stormy up with that one. For those of you wondering, that's the sound of my drill press being dragged across the floor. Let's see if I can make this work. I can't. I'm okay with it because it's essentially out of the way. Okay. Ooh, I just discovered I may not have room for that table. I need a space approximately 50, we'll call it 60 inches. And from the end of that to the end of that, that'll work. I might have to move my staple gun. Whoopity shit. And I'm definitely moving my tape measures because I'm tired of having them where they are. So those no, I don't need big screws for that. I can use small ones. I don't think I even need to use screws. Oh, yeah, actually I do. Let me see here. That one's through. And this one is in there. Okay. And they're too close together. I'm not going to do much with the torch. Just 1 second, I realize I've accidentally left you guys in the dark about what I'm doing. Oh, okay. Those both need to be lowered. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm doing here now. Really quick. There we go. I'm just repositioning these things. They're getting warm. There it is. Okay, so that's my tape measures up out of the way. I may end up putting them up in here somewhere, but for now they'll do. And let's see what time I'm looking at here. Just about 2 hours, so it's probably about 11 o'clock at night now. So I'm getting very, very, very tired and close to done. And now you guys get to watch me do my final feat of strength for the day once I find my gloves. There we are. I was originally planning to take everything out of this table and then move it. I think I'm going to do that in reverse because it'll just be faster that way. And while it is substantially heavier than I'd like it to be, it's not that bad. And another reason too that I'm moving this table, if you see the folded vinyl here, this is actually a backsplash or a backstop or back catch or whatever you want to call it. It's for overspray for spray painting. So what I'll be doing is hanging a piece from here down, and then as it's dangling, then I can spray it if it's something smallish. If it's not small enough for that, then it goes over there with a larger piece of vinyl put up. That larger piece of vinyl should be, I think, up there. But in any case, this needs to get moved now. Now, my guesstimation on the weight of that may be off, but it felt like about 100 pounds. There we go. No more jiggle. And the good thing about that is I can now dispense, hopefully for good, come on, with the microphone stand I've been using, and rearrange it so that I'm actually using the holes in the table for my microphone, or my camera stand. That means this can now migrate to Stormy's on a permanent basis for when I want to do videos, or ideally it can actually be my travel stand. And this isn't actually a bad angle, but I need to, oh, I see, that's what's going on. Okay, because of the way the table was built, it's not particularly conducive to this stand, so I may actually have to add a piece to the stand itself to get it. Okay, just a moment. Oh, I wonder, would that work? Will that sit in that dog hole? It will not. Okay. With that, can I get that out? voice sense movement or not? I'm not 100%. I think I do. Sorry, don't mind me talking to myself. It happens a lot. Okay. For the prying tool, I will use this. And I actually probably won't set things up this way after all, because I do remember that I meant to use the wall beside me as my backdrop. But this will do for the occasional change of pace. Ah, there we go. That's very nice. Come on out of there. And broken. Or was never in one full piece anyway. Yeah, you get what you pay for, apparently. And that's not great anyway. Let's see how that looks when I lift this up. Hopefully without dropping the actual tablet. It's a little more difficult to do one-handed than you might expect. There we go, that's not so bad. But, yeah, so there we go. That's one possible use stand. Anyway, though I kind of doubt it. Could I do that? I think I could. Instead of using that, I could use that one. Put that back there. There we go. That's much better. And this now comes out. That gets screwed back onto it. And the collet that's in there is going to have to go back in here. Okay, for now, that's going to sit there. I'm going to have a cigarette and get ready to go to bed. Which is, I assume, where most of my subs are currently. Anybody who happens to still be listening to my voice and active enough to reach for a device to message me, do let me know if you're still listening / watching. And if you're new, by all means, make yourself known. And also, if you are feeling any kind of generous or slightly flush, be aware there are multiple ways you can support me if you think what I'm doing is worthwhile. I will point out that I'm essentially rebuilding my life after some unfortunate personal circumstances that I won't go into. But, yeah. Well, I won't go into all of them, but one of them is substance abuse that, let's just say it cost me about 20 years worth of living. But, yeah, if you want to support somebody who's basically in a hard spot and trying to get themselves dug out of it, I'd appreciate it. You can subscribe with Subscribestar. You can subscribe. I keep forgetting this. You can actually now subscribe on Rumble for $5 a month. I don't know what sort of perks you'd be open to there, but I have to change the way I'm looking at my camera. Just a moment. There. Now I have the camera directly in front of my face. But I need to move that to the side. I don't know exactly what perks you would be looking at on Rumble, but it is significantly cheaper than Subscribestar. Actually, no, I believe the lowest tier of Subscribestar is the same as supporting me or subscribing on Rumble, $5 a month. The difference being, as far as I understand, Rumble is giving creators every cent of what they get. The same thing with the Rumble rants as well. So if you see my live chats or live streams or what have you on Rumble, by all means feel free to donate there. If you're Canadian, you can simply send me an Interac money transfer. Doesn't have to be a big amount. Anything is appreciated, of course. Let me see. Tristan says, also, sorry, I'll finish shilling. There is a merch shop. Subscribestar, merch shop, Rumble, direct payment. I have a PayPal. And if you're interested in woodcrafts, once I get them completed, I will be putting them up for sale, both on all my social medias, Getter, Gab. I do have a Facebook page under ArdentPardy. Doesn't get a lot of traffic, don't worry about it, but it'll be Getter, Gab. My friend Tucker Fwitt is kind enough to put things on Twitter for me. Um, let me see. Let me run through the list that I have. I have Gab, Getter, Truth Social, Twitter, through Tucker, um, Facebook. You guys can always just email me as well. Speaking of, if you want to email me an idea for clip of the week, a story that you'd like me to look at, something you might like me to hear me read on my channel, anything like that, by all means, do let me know. What else do I have going on? I think that's pretty much it. I did see some chats, so. Tristan Armstrong, the leader of the Canadian Communist Party, went to Guelph when I was there. He'd been in school forever, never graduating, just shilling Marxism and banging fresh. Oh, gross. This is Medger. Gotta go, buddy. It was good to see you at work. Have a good one. See you, Medger. Hello, Kizza. Just finishing work. Ardent, your king is here. Unfortunately, Kizza, they have not crowned you king of Newfoundland. And if they did, well, you'd have to wrestle me for it. Let's see what we got going on here. I do apologize because I was busy shilling and begging people for money, which I absolutely love to do. But yeah, I am now acknowledging your presence, your grace. I'm actually just getting ready to shut her down. It is after 11 o'clock at night here, quarter after 11 at night, actually. My PayPal is the same as my email address. If you want to send me a few bucks, and I do appreciate it. If you have an idea of something you'd like to see me do for that money that doesn't involve anything illegal, immoral, or particularly unethical, feel free. And I am very close now to being able to actually do real world work. DM it to me on Discord. Stay live for the next 15. Do I have my phone at hand? I do. It's ArdentPardy@gmail.com. So it's it should even be connected to this channel, actually. It's probably in the description of the video. It's usually in everything. Let me see here. PayPal. And it's very funny that I talk to myself out loud all the time. Oh, just log in. Don't be a dick. Okay, I have to get a code. Because of course I do, because everything has to be triple verified now. Okay, copy that. Paste it. Worked. Good. I do like that you can copy from a text message, though. Let me see, where am I here? Show all. In the last year, I have received no money, but I have sent people money. Oh, no, that's wrong. I have, in fact, received money for that. Okay. Right on. Let me see here. Quit trying to force your PayPal on me. Home. This should be a lot simpler than it is. Okay, so my account, profile information. Oh. Okay, this is irritating as hell. Let's try this. Okay, I'm still in their fax. No wonder I'm having problems. Okay. Sorry, Kizza. I'm trying my fastest. MKDS312. Hi. Popped in. DM your PayPal to me on Discord. There's a link in the description. Doesn't work. Oh, balls. In that case, I will go directly to Discord. Let's see here. I think it's been a while since we had any direct interaction, because let's see, there you are. There you go. Should be in your DMs now. That should be all you need, I hope. And I'm going to have a look at the description link as well and find out why that's not working. I'm currently live. Yes, I'm aware of this. Let me turn the volume all the way down. Oh, wow. That's quite the view of my you guys are getting. Okay, Kizza says wait 10 minutes. Thanks, Kizza. Description link. Pop that open. Oh, it's not working because it's not actually a link. That's irritating. I must have screwed that up somehow. Okay. Let me just do a little bit of, how do I get... There we go. Oh, the Chrome is going out again. And MKDS312, who is actually one of my cousins, says she wishes she could donate to me, but she's flat broke. That's fine. I understand completely. Go back. I really hate when they try to show me videos. There we go. And I was just sticking to the group crowdfunding sites. There's a list here. PayPal is not on it. If you solicit money via PayPal, YouTube may interpret that as spammy behavior, so there is some risk. Lovely. Okay, I just got some notification of something. What was that? Oh, gunspot alert. Yeah, I may not be able to buy guns, but I do love looking at the auctions. There was a Legacy Collectibles piece not too long ago on Canadian rescue guns, which was, I believe, their second or third one. Wow, that moth is having a real time with that light. But I was watching this Canadian rescue guns thing, and Legacy Collectibles was the channel I think I mentioned, but I want to make sure I did. And they were opening or unboxing a pile of guns, lots and lots of Lugers, but there were a couple of Walther PPKs in there as well. And one of the PPKs had what they called a Doral finish. And it's this really beautiful kind of marble green. And I did end up finding the auction link when I did a search for the Doral finish to see more pictures of it. And I found Legacy Collectibles' actual auction link. And my God, that gun is beautiful. Just that Doral finish. I want a rifle in that particular finish if that's something that's possible to do. I don't know that it is. But in any case, I will stay on. I have received... Oh, goodness. Kizza, that is incredibly kind of you. I need to check that and see what that is in Canadian funds. Wow. That's amazing, Kizza. Thank you so much. I gotta get a code to sign into friggin' PayPal again. Just a moment. Copy. Paste. Goes. There we go. And obviously I won't read out your actual name. Is there a message that you provided with it, Kizza? It doesn't look like. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not surprised. What was the amount in pounds that you sent? Because the conversion is something special. And yeah, one of the things I dislike greatly about PayPal is how much they actually charge you for the transaction. £100, Kizza. Thank you so much, my friend. You just paid for all the lumber I'll need for my stands for my machines here, for certain. So that's beyond anything I expected. Yeah, I remember they didn't charge before either. I guess COVID hit everybody hard. Let me see here. That's an absolutely amazingly generous donation, Kizza. That comes up to $163.23 Canadian. So clearly, our conversion rate from the pound to Canadian dollars is absolutely insane right now. Yeah, wow. Used to charge. Billy says I should use entropy. I've considered it, but I'm such a boomer. I'm absolutely screwed when it comes to that. Let me see if I can make sure I'll get that money as fast as possible. Received. Okay, so I want to send that to my bank. Why is PayPal making it hard for me to actually get that money? And to be honest, PayPal will probably charge me on my end as well. Request. No, that's not what I'm looking to do. I need to see my wallet, I guess. There we go. Okay. Transfer that. And send that to my bank. Excellent. Typically works in minutes. And there's a 1.75% fee. Because of course there is. So on $163, that'll be about $17.50 plus 2/3 of that. It's about 6 more, so 12. So that's about a $30 fee to transfer that. It's insane. Oh, wait. I don't want to do it instantly. I want to do it standard. Link a bank. There's my bank. Okay, so there are two options for taking money out of my PayPal account. One is instant, which costs significantly, and the other is not, which I assume gives them the opportunity to collect interest on the funds, which I'm fine with. Oh no, I don't trust PayPal with my banking information. I barely trust PayPal with it. So, or Google rather. Uh, yeah, the charge, the 17.5% would have been about $28, give or take. Closer to 30, I think. Would have been. But that's if I take it as an instant payment. And the reason for that is, of course, because PayPal is a financial institution, they get to charge interest on the money they hold. Yeah, I imagine it is crazy. But now, to be clear, because I'm going the standard route, which is a few days, it gives PayPal the ability to actually accrue interest on the funds they're holding because it's essentially an escrow. So yeah, I kind of understand, but I think it's extremely dirty that they charged money on your end. Oh, come on. Okay, they just sent me, there we are, from the bank. Okay. Let's hope that's right. Because I wasn't able to copy that particular code, so I had to memorize it. It's only 6 digits, so I think I got it right. For fuck's sake, some of your info is not correct. Really? It's telling me to try again. I'm thinking I probably put the code in wrong. I did. Okay. Okay, this time I'm just going to write the code down. If it gives me the option to put the code in again. Okay. Try it again. Yeah, this time I'm writing the code down. Give me a moment. Stay there this time. Okay. Okay, this time when they send me the code, I can write it down, at least. Okay, it's this one. 6, 9. Okay, so the code was put in right the second time. Now I'm just waiting for PayPal to kick over. Standard is 1 to 5 days. It's not that big a deal. Don't worry about doing a direct transfer. That'll probably cost you even more. Honestly, if you just want to wait until I do a live stream and you happen to pop in on Rumble, just send me a super or Rumble rant or whatever the hell they call it. Yeah. The reason I know that the direct bank transfer would probably cost you more is because my friend Christopher Everard, the guy who does the writing, the Belgian fella. Oh, that's right, Kizzy. You don't have a Rumble account. Don't worry about it then. This will work just fine if you're content to have 3. Well, they charged £3, so they took a 3% cut, and it's verifying information, so everything should be working fine now. But yeah, pre-authorized debts. I don't really want to. Well, I don't have a choice, apparently. Find accepted link. Okay, done. I love how my checking account uses the CK spelling, the American spelling. And done. Oh, 3 to 5 business days, rather. And next. And transfer it now. Yeah, $163.23. And no, I still don't want your fucking app, PayPal. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much, Kizza. I mean, uh, that's a lot of money that I will absolutely put to good use, picking up definitely material that actually might give me the ability to discard some of the stuff that I collected recently. Because, to be honest, the labor that will be involved in harvesting suitably usable material from that stuff is almost not worth it. I mean, the price of lumber is really high, and my funds are extremely limited. But, uh, yeah, that definitely gives me a lot of help. Um, like, I am beyond grateful. Like, I'm flabbergasted that you would send me that much. Uh, I'm also somewhat jealous that you have it to give. But that's only because one of my favorite kind of aspirational things when somebody asks me where I really want to go with the YouTube channel. I'd love to be able to do what Mr. Beast does. You're right, because the community does know how generous you are. You are awesome. Let's see. Uh, Billy, I went to cancel when they said they would steal your money for Wrong Thing Speak. I don't blame you. Um, let's see. Because I might make a Rumble account, I assume. Only issue is Rumble doesn't have an app as a good chunk of the time on my phone with YouTube. Rumble seems to run better, believe it or not. They do have a Rumble app, but it's kind of trash for live chat. Uh, Maybe you guys don't have access to it over there, but I find Rumble seems to run better in the browser. I use Firefox on my phone, and it seems to run better in the browser than it does through its own app. And one of the issues, Rumble made a bad choice, I think, with their app. They kind of bought a pre-built app, or they bought code from someone else. And one of the big problems is that it already had censorship built into it for certain profanities and things like that. Which, I mean, Rumble is supposed to be diametrically opposed to. And the fact that the fact that let me see. Tristan says live chat's not bad on the Rumble app. I often chat via the app during the weekend stream. Oh, okay. Then they've probably improved it somewhat. Have you ever tested the profanity filter? Just for the sake of checking. Kizza says he finds Rumble on the browser makes it hard to watch stuff as it'll close if you come off it. Okay. I think that may be possibly an issue with your phone. And Tristan points out that profanity doesn't really come up often. Yeah, profanity is very much an intimate part of the Newfoundland lexicon, so it's not unusual to hear me drop an F-bomb or an S-bomb or a C-bomb or any number of various profanities. I do occasionally try to restrain myself, depending on company. I know it's probably not much of an issue for quite a lot of the women on Discord that are in the same circle I am, but I'm trying to set a good example for my nephew as well. And we had some company today, and he was being a little loose with the profanity around a couple of my cousins, our cousins, I should say. And I did remind him to watch his language, and then realized who it was that was speaking. and it was surprising to hear those words coming out of my own mouth. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kizza. And by all means, enjoy that 4K clip. You absolutely did make my day, my evening, and probably my week, and potentially even my month, because that gives me a lot of freedom. That's, you basically tripled my budget for the next few days, or the next stage of things that I'm planning to do. So yeah, I absolutely appreciate it to no end. Uh, Now, I will be signing off here now because I think it's getting close to midnight. Yeah, it's 20 minutes to midnight here. Stormy is great. She's actually sleeping right now. She is potentially even listening to this as we speak. Uh, Potentially very giddy for me because she is an absolutely awesome cheerleader, though I suspect she is probably sawing some logs at the moment. Uh, and yeah, things are going extremely well with us. The only thing really keeping us from being able to move in together, which we both want to do, is lack of a dedicated vehicle of our own, and the fact that my shed is an hour's drive away from where she lives. Uh, Potentially, weather may be also an issue. I spent 2 weeks over there recently, as you guys know, and 9 days of that was an entire 9 day block of that was very thick fog, to the point that we both started to feel like we were losing our minds just a touch. And I know they talk about how Britain can be foggy. No, it's nothing like what it was like here. Pea soup, and frozen pea soup for that matter, because, well, pea soup with a lot of paste in it, because you were almost cutting your way down the road. The fog was that thick a few times. Uh, yeah, we're definitely talking Silent Hill levels of fog. It was to the point where the street light across the road was not visible unless it was on, uh, kind of across the street. Levels of, yeah, fog. um, think a good way to think of it is think about the old Ripper movies from like the 30s and 40s, 50s, 60s, the old black and white Ripper movies. That atmosphere that they created, uh, pretty much like that, only in real life, and no smoke machine involved. Before I go, and because I'm probably not coming out here again to have a cigarette before I go to sleep. Oops. 16 times, one for every $10 that Kizza gave me. Because I'm not going to sit here and do it 163.23 times. But yeah, it was. It was so foggy. It's very difficult to explain how foggy it was. Let me see. Yeah, definitely very close. The best way to explain it would be, what was the game? It was a Star Wars game on the the third Nintendo system. That was not GameCube. Before GameCube was, there was Nintendo, Super Nintendo, the one I didn't play much, because I never owned one, and then there was the N64. Thank you. Yes, Shadows of the Empire is exactly the game I was thinking of, Tristan. Yeah, the fog in that. That's what it was like. Only occasionally you could see some light in it. Uh, yeah, like I have a video, I think, on my phone of when I was driving in some of it, and it's still not, doesn't do it justice. Let me see if I can find that video real fast. I know I did post it to Discord. I think it's in the Sultans Discord, or maybe I put it in the Inner Sanctum. I'm not sure if I put it in the Sultans Only channel. Sega Rally PS1 draw distance. Sega Rally. Don't think I played that. I think I only owned a PS1 for a year, maybe two, before PS2 came out. But let me just check my my videos here. Video editor, messenger, photos editor, camera. Ah, here we go. Let me turn the volume. Okay, the volume's already down. And this will give you a very clear idea. I'll roll this backwards so that you can see exactly what we're talking about. Play. Okay. So this is what we're looking at. This is me driving on the way to Stormy's. And this isn't even that bad. I can actually see a pretty good distance there. Yeah. They call Newfoundland the land God gave to Cain for a reason. It's rocky, it's cold, it's weather beaten. Technically illegal driving with technically it would be illegal. The worst I'd get, I think, is a ticket. And also, I was cruising at a very slow speed. And while it looks like I might have taken my eyes off the road, I actually never did. I have a very good sense of where the camera lens is. And I actually took the video and shut it off, all not exactly hands-free, but all without taking my eyes off the road. And yeah, no, it wasn't until I actually got to Stormy's that I reviewed the video and sent it. Yeah, I'm very careful behind the wheel. That's not to say that I don't occasionally drive slightly above the speed limit, but I would never do that in a situation where it wasn't safe to do so. For example, if I didn't have a dry road with a clear day, there's no way I'd exceed the speed limit. And generally, I will, for example, in that video, I do believe I was doing something like half the speed limit, if not less, because I simply could not see. And yeah, it's stupid to do anything that unsafe. But what I was doing there, I was holding the camera like this and driving. Actually, I didn't have a cigarette in my hand. So what was actually going on was my hands are on the wheel, and I was holding the phone kind of against the wheel at the same time. It was a very short, very straight section of road that I'm very familiar with. And yeah, you're right, though. I will grant you that is technically illegal, and I probably should not have done it, and I almost certainly never will again now that I've been chastised. So thank you. But it did need to be documented just to explain to people how bad it could be. The other thing about that is too, I was driving with my lights off intentionally because that area has a lot of moose, and the moose in Newfoundland are almost as big as the moose in Alaska. And hitting one of those is very, very, very dangerous. There are a lot of moose fatalities. Sorry, let me rephrase. There are a lot of moose-related driver fatalities in Newfoundland every year. Usually 3, 4, 5 to 6 some years. There have been years where there have been up to 12, but that relates to how many people are in a vehicle. Collision-wise, there's probably... Oh, yeah, no, I understand, Kizza. But if I take it as chastisement, it's because it's right to be chastised over. But yeah, with moose, they will actually approach the light source. So in fog, I mean, you're really playing a game of risk. But again, like I say, glued to the road, like to the point that I gave myself eye strain and still kept driving. Sorry, I've got a bit of an itch. But yeah, the fact that I'm showing this to a Brit and he's going, holy crap. Actually, wait, who was it that said it was mental? Yes, it was you, Kizza. Yeah, that's insanity. Uh, but that's very common in this part of Newfoundland. Uh, and like I say, 9 days of thicker, slightly thicker fog than that, it wears on you. To the point that your joints, especially my joints, where I'm a little older and I have some arthritis from damage, I think I use the 10% rule, but as I understand it, the RCMP here won't really act until you're about 15 to 16 over the limit. So if the limit is 90 and you're doing, say, 110, you're really pushing your luck. The cops may not stop you, but it's not uncommon. The only speeding ticket I've ever gotten was a few years back when I was driving my Aveo. Now, this will tell you how much I loved that Aveo. I was in a 100 zone. Uh, uh, I will be honest, I was somewhat aware that the speedometer was a bit off because I knew it was off by about 5 at about 100 kilometers. Uh, but it turned out that what I was reading as 120 was actually closer to 135. Uh, so yeah, uh, over here the 10% rule only applies to cars with analog speedometers. And that's what my vehicle had as well, was an analog speedometer. I don't think it would have been an issue to the cop at all. But when he pulled me over, he said I was doing about 134, 135, somewhere in between there. At which point I went, oh, fuck. And basically said, okay, I don't have an excuse for that. You're right. I should not have been going that fast, and I apologize. And he was kind enough to write the ticket down significantly. Partly because, of course, if you look at my driving record, it was perfectly clean. And I was 45, 44, 45 at the time. So you don't get from 17 to 45 with no accidents at all on your record without knowing what you're doing behind the wheel. And I will be honest, that little Aveo, you guys would possibly know it as a Kalos or what else? But it was also a Pontiac, but it's basically a Daewoo, and I did intend to actually rebadge it as a Daewoo at the time, but it ended up suffering a catastrophic failure of a catastrophic structural failure because of the unfortunate lack of maintenance of the previous owner. The car was completely beautiful. Little Korean Runaway. Yeah, Korean. It was a beautiful car. It was a wonderful car. But it was very easy to get the car at 100. Focus on where your foot was. Be comfortable at that speed. It didn't have cruise control. There were only two things it was missing that I really wished it had, was cruise control and a backup camera. And that's mostly because I'm very used to backup cameras now. I don't absolutely need them because I do know how to set my wing mirrors, but yeah. Um, but yeah, it had the same size engine in a tiny little four-door that was in the mid-size, I think it was a Hyundai Santa Fe. It was something like it was a four-banger, I know that. 2.3 liter, 2.1 liter, something like that. It was basically a massive engine for that car. But when I first got the car and actually took her for the test drive and got her onto the highway in a merge zone, she had no trouble whatsoever jumping to the speed. Might have been a 1.6, might have been a 1.9. I'm not 100% sure. And I may have that wrong. I need to look it up. It was an 07 Aveo, so it's been 3 years, 2 years, 3 years since I had it, so. Okay, let me check Wikipedia, because Wikipedia, ironically, has very good information. Let me see. Uh, 2002, 2012. No, that's not the one. That's not the one either. It was a four-door. It was variously known as a Chevy Kalos, Chevy Lova, Chevy Nexia, Daewoo Gentra, Daewoo Kalos, a Holden Barina. It says TK. Not sure what that was. Pontiac G3, G3 Wave, Pontiac Wave, the Rayvon Nexia R3, Suzuki Swift Plus, and the ZAZ Vita. Let me see here. But it wasn't a first gen. It wasn't a second gen either. No, that's not right. Okay, let me try the Kalos. Maybe that'll make more sense. Okay. Engine doesn't show. First generation, I think it was a T200 I had, but it was post the facelift. It was a Daewoo Lanos. No, sorry, that was what it replaced. And the nameplate Kalos derives from the Greek word kalos for beautiful and good, and my God, it was a good car. Originally designed by Ital Design. First presented at 2000 Paris Motor Show. This is the version that I had, I think. Though mine was a dark blue as opposed to this really ugly light blue. So that would have been my car there. And, oh, I have my phone upside down, sorry. The not 5-door, Pontiac, that was a Pontiac Wave, but that was also pre-facelift apparently. Yeah, no, okay, that was the pre-facelift four-door with the trunk. T250, I think it was. No, T200. Give me a moment here. I've got to look for the engine. Two different front end styling designs were sold. V-shaped grille, 5-door hatch. Okay, it had a 1.6 liter, yeah, E-Tech 2 engine. Yeah, so it had a 1.6 liter engine, which I think made somewhere in the region of, I can't remember, but it was, oh, hang on, I may have found an actual, yeah, this is as close as you're going to get to, no, that's not right, that's the facelift. Anyway, yeah, it was, it was very easy to discover that what you thought was doing 100 was suddenly doing 120. Yeah, I think it was a 1.6. Billy, you're asking how, oh, AVEO. Yeah, and because I did supply it for you while I was occupied. You could have had a Lassetti, in which case you'd have the second reasonable priced car from Top Gear, which did come with a 1.9 liter. Wow. How many names does one car have? It depends on who's selling it, which badge or market you're in, yeah. There was a Suzuki Swift Plus, which was basically the same car. My brother actually has the hatchback Suzuki from the year before. It's another Daewoo. And I'm just using the old-fashioned eraser method to clean up the marks I put on my table. And I don't need to do that because I have actual erasers. 1 second. Oh, dear, oh dear. Things that we don't use often. come out of there. There we are. I'm shuffling around because I'm getting tired. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to sign off here, and I will end with, Kizza made sure I had a good day. I hope you guys are having good days. And just to check chat one last time. Excellent. Rise and rise again until lambs become lions. And I will see you guys on Saturday. Actually, possibly tomorrow, because I do want to do some more work out here. And Tristan says, buonanotte, which I assume is Italian, possibly? I know it's one of the Romance languages. But bonsoir. Or adieu. Good night. God damn it, I hit the wrong spot. You guys have a good night. I'm out of here.